Hello and welcome. This is our virtual open day information session, a day that is all about tomorrow. My name is Dr. Peter Ngiki, a member of CPA Australia and a CFA charter holder. My role, I'm a teaching scholar, financial planning program, Deakin Business School. As we gather for this meeting, physically dispersed and virtually constructed, let us take a moment to reflect on the meaning of place, and in doing so, recognize the various traditional lands on which we do our business today. Deakin would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land on which our university campuses are based. The Wadawurrung people of Kulin Nation, on whose country our Geelong campuses are located. The Wurundjeri people of Kulin Nation, on whose country our Barwood campus is located. And the Pik Hurrung people of Ma Nation, on whose country our Warrnambool campus is located. Why choose Deakin? Let me start by addressing this question. We love what we do, and the world recognizes what we do, particularly our clients who happen to be our students. In terms of university ranking, we are at top 1% of university worldwide, according to ARW Rankings 2021. In terms of student satisfaction, we are #1 university for student satisfaction in Victoria for 12 consecutive years. How cool is that? What about teaching resources? We are Victoria's #1 university for teaching quality. This is according to 2020 Student Experience Survey. In terms of educational experience, we are Victorians' #1 university that is for educational experience according to the same student experience survey. Learning resources, we are Victoria's #1 university for learning resources based on 2020 Student Experience Survey. As I said before, I come from Deakin Business School, which is ranked in the top 1% of business schools globally, holding both AAC SB and EQA accreditation. As you'll notice from our slides, we got the logos down at the bottom, and that gives you an assurance that we do what we say we want to do for our students. Now, for this session, I will go through why study financial planning, course overview, course structure, entry requirements, Deakin Accelerate, pathways, work integrated learning, graduate outcomes, studying online, student services, and how to apply. So let's get started. Now, what is financial planning? Why do you want to be a financial planner? What is it that you'll be doing as a financial planner? So a financial advisor works with clients. So for this particular subject, career path, if you make up your mind to be a financial planner, you'll be dealing with clients. What is it that you have to do with clients? You will have to help your client achieve their financial goals. That is, the role of financial advisor has many layers. So a financial advisor's role includes meeting with clients. Now, why do you have meet with clients? Remember, your business is around your clients, your client's best interest. You need to understand the clients, know about their goals, short-term and long-term, so that from understanding your client, you can be able to develop financial strategies. You will also be able to develop investment strategies for your clients. And after you've developed the strategies, you need to come up with products and services that are going to fulfill those goals that you have identified. So in this particular situation, you'll be researching on financial and investment products. Now, leading a team of support staff is another role that would be expected of a financial planner. And here we are talking about administration and paraplanner staff. That is the entry level of a financial planner. Now, in terms of your continuous development process, we are expected to engage ourselves with professional development activities. These may involve seminars, webinars, short courses and training that will keep us updated on what's happening in the world of finance and financial services. Finally, remember, this subject is about relationship, and therefore we are interested in networking. You network with your clients, and as you go through the university, our university program, we would also expect you to network with your peers, learn from them as they also learn from you. Why be a financial planner? So why are you interested in being a financial planner? Financial planner combines a love of working with people. Remember, it's about relationship, building relationships. We are talking of a competitive drive, a self-discipline, and a love of numbers. Why numbers? Because the client goals might be translated into numbers. For instance, a client will come to you and say, I need to earn a 10% rate of return. So the 10% happen to be a number, and you need to know what that number means. So in summary, as a financial planner, you will spend a large amount of your time getting to know your client, building trust, and long-term relationships. Now, from the outset, you will be stepping into their lives as you begin to understand your client goals, hopes, and dreams. So, as I said, it's about relationships and building strong relationships so that you can fulfill your client's goals. What skills do we call for, especially for a financial planner? We are talking about two types of skills that complement one another: technical skills and interpersonal skills. Why technical? Remember, I've talked about knowing something about numbers. Why interpersonal skills? Remember, we are talking about relationships and trust. So to build those two, you need to equip yourself with the technical know-how and also the soft skills that are required to build strong relationships with clients. Now, for those who want to be financial planners, and I believe most of our students are interested in the world in becoming financial planners in future, there is demand for financial planners, and graduates are highly sought looked for by employers. Now, why is this the case? We do have new education standards resulting into demand for degree qualified advisors. That's the reason why, as a university, we are offering you a degree in financial planning. Now, the continued growth and opportunities in superannuation, this is something to do with retirement and requiring individuals or people who have technical know-how on how superannuation works. And this is where financial planners come in. Opportunities for increasing representation by females in the profession. This has to do with inclusion. So we do know that there's a gender gap when it comes to employment of financial planners, and therefore this is important for those who want to come into financial planning, especially for female. We encourage female to take up the course so that we can be able to have an inclusive profession. Now, increasing wealth that needs management. So every now and then we are doing saving. Every now and then we get income. We don't consume everything. We do save some parts, and that part goes to wealth accumulation. This wealth accumulation needs to be managed, and that's where you come in as a financial planner. Now, we also have aging population, baby boomers, and this is where you come in to fill in the gap in terms of taking over some of the tasks that have been performed by those who have been there before, and also helping those who have been there before in their retirement plans. So you have low levels of financial literacy, meaning that a financial planner will have to be to help when it comes to building a resilient society that is financially literate. We also need to take into account that the fact that people are busy and they need someone who can help them to manage their wealth and also manage their time. We have complexity of finance systems. We know about cryptocurrency. We know about new asset classes. And this is where you come in, because we'd expect you to help in managing the client and helping clients navigate through complex financial systems. Now that we have talked about your future profession, let's have a look at how to get there. So we do offer Bachelor of Commerce majoring in financial planning. Now, for Bachelor of Commerce majoring in financial planning, why Deakin for financial planning? So why join us? First, we are an approved, we have an approved program by Financial Advisor Standards. So our degrees are accredited, and therefore you will be recognized as a person who is pursuing a valid degree when it comes to financial services or the financial planning industry. Now, strong links with the professional bodies. So our financial planning program is linked to some of the professional associations we have, like FPA, Financial Planning Association of Australia, AFA. So these are professional bodies that have a relationship with us, and would love our students to tap into these professional bodies as they pursue their degree. Quality of the teaching staff, all of whom have worked within the industry. We have practical, the practical nature of the units. So we don't just design the units from the theory aspects point of view. We also bring the real life experience that is making it as practical as possible, so that once you transition from the degree to your future career or organization that you'll be working for, at least you'll be prepared. Then we also have industry engagement. Now we talk about this a little bit when we'll be talking about work integrated. We do have scholarships, we have prizes, we have internship, and we are very interested in helping our students find employment when as they navigate through their degrees and when they finish. So the issue of employability and graduate outcomes is at the heart of what we do. Now, the course structure. This course is designed in such a way that within 3 years, you are able to complete the course, especially for full-time students. Within the first year, you do all the core units. There are 8 of them divided into trimester 1, 4 units, accounting for decision-making, economics, fundamentals of finance, and business analytics. Now, the second semester of first year, we got law for commerce. We have marketing fundamentals. We have management and professional insights. Second year, we have financial planning, principles of income tax law. All this prepares you for some of the tasks you'll be undertaking when you start your career in the farms, or when you get a job or an internship with some of the organizations that offering financial services to clients. And for the first trimester, we do have electives. So there are 2 electives where you can choose from pool of electives, and we also have minor units. We have elective in terms of work integrated learning, and we also have study abroad as a unit. Now, trimester 2 of second year, we have client behavior and decision making. We do have ethics for financial professionals and 2 electives. The final year of your study, this is where you deal with the major units. So you deal with superannuation planning, first semester, equity and investment analysis, and 2 electives. Finally, we do have estate planning and insurance and advanced financial planning. And then thereafter, you do have 2 electives as well. So there you have it for the commerce financial planning major. Entry points. What are the requirements for entering into our finance major degree? So we do have Bachelor of Commerce majoring in financial planning. This is a 3 years full-time study or part-time equivalent. Now, in terms of campuses, we do have Burwood with IATA of 80.1, Waterfront 70.35, Cloud 68.95, and Warrnambool not published. This means that the course is available at the campus, but the lowest selection rank is not available. Now, you may be a school leaver who, in terms of domestic, if you studied year 12 in 2022 or completed year 12 in year 2021 or 2020 and have not attempted higher education or VET study since, your selection is based on the following. So we have 2 prerequisite subjects, units 3 and 4, a study score of at least 25 in English, and we have IATA, and we have stated that this course uses the IATA as part of its selection consideration. Please note the IATA given numbers are subject to change, and they are indicative for now. Non-school leavers, senior secondary certificate of education with IATA of at least 50 or equivalent, or a certificate for in related disciplines, or diploma in any discipline, or 50% completion of a diploma in a related discipline. So these are some of the requirements, and all applicants, of course, must meet the minimum English language requirements. And we have a link over there which you can read to get more about English language proficiency requirements. Now, what about international students? You may be listening to me and you want to get in as an international student. So the requirements are English entry requirements, IELTS overall score of 6, and in all the categories, we would expect you to score not less than 6 or equivalent. Now, academic entry requirements, international 2022 VCE students, please apply through VTAC. Refer to VTAC website for prerequisites and entry requirements. All other international students must have completed Australian Year 12 or equivalent to meet the admission score relevant to your qualification. Pathways. We have numerous pathways for you. You can apply to Deakin from school. You can apply to Deakin through the workforce. Transfer from related Deakin courses. You can study same course at a different campus. Apply to Deakin from Deakin College, e.g. Diploma of Commerce. Apply to Deakin with other teams or RTOs. These are the pathways that you can follow. We have provided a link down there just in case you want to join us via any of the identified pathways. Earlier on, I spoke about employability. We try as much as possible to help our students integrate into the workforce. This is done via work integrated learning. For this one, we got consultants experience. So the consultant experience, this is via Australian Business Consultancy, ABC program. We do have business development clinic. On the other side, we do have entrepreneurship experience. So entrepreneurship experience, this is via virtual business incubators, Spark, Deakin Startup Ideation. We also have internship and how to engage in this unit, university or self-sourced internships, work-based learning projects with a current employer, university internship programs. And then finally, we have international consultancy experience, how to engage with this unit, consultancy in an international context, liaising with international clients to identify, understand, and attempt to resolve real-world problems. It takes about 2 to 6 weeks. Now, graduate outcomes. So when you go, after you've gone through our degree, what is it that you will get? What are the outcomes? So you might end up being a financial advisor. As I've said before, this is where you're building relationship with clients. You can also be an insurance advisor, business development manager, superannuation consultant, portfolio analyst, personal financial planner, investment banker, paraplanner as an entry point to financial planning. We got claims administrator, compliance manager, and we also have risk advisor. So there are numerous options or outcomes you would expect from to pursuing a degree in financial planning. Studying online. At some universities, your online experience is an afterthought, but not at Deakin. Digital is in our DNA with over 40 years of distance and online learning in experience. Invest your skills now to be ready for what comes next. Feel comfortable and supported in your online studies with Australians' top-ranked tech support. Deakin support. So for our student, we do have scholarships. Find a scholarship that works for you. Whether it's recognition of your academic achievement or a chance to make university a reality, there is a Deakin scholarship that can help you on your way to your dream degree. Financial support, we are here to help in terms of your journey with us. So to make sure you get the best possible chance to success while studying. We have compiled all you need to know about how our fee works and what financial assistance we could be eligible for. You could be eligible for, especially through scholarship and government loan schemes. There's a link there that will help you navigate through the kind of support we would offer you. As our students, we do take care of you. We have student services as listed on this slide here, Deakin Medical Center. We have Mood Faith Chaplains. We have disability support counseling, clubs and societies. We have Deakin Achieve, Deakin University Student Association. We have peer assisted study sessions, PASS. We got student helping students, and we have mentor programs that will help you shape your career. Then we also have Deakin Talent, where we have lots to do with work integrated learning and also assisting our student when it comes to job preparation. So Deakin Talent empowers students to explore a broad range of career opportunities, build skills and experience valued by employers, and present themselves confidently and positively to employers. Here we are talking about jobs and internships, resume and job application support. We are talking of employer networking events. We're talking of career success, workshops, one-on-one career coaching. How to apply? If you are a school leaver, application for trimester 1 2023 can be made via VTAC. There's a link there which will take you to VTAC website. Non-school leavers, trimester 3 November intake applications are now open. They will close October 2022. When it comes to trimester 3 2023 March intake, applications open August 2022 and closes late February 2023. There's a link over there which you can click to be directed to the right page. Joining us as an international student experts are available all day today via web chat by clicking on the icon on the bottom right hand corner of your screen. You can also watch the following information session to learn more about joining Deakin community. Apply to Deakin as an international student, fees and scholarship for international students, and international student live at Deakin. Thank you so much for joining us. Join the live Q&A session. Next, to get your questions answered, explore the resources on this page and across the virtual Open Day website. Chat to our experts on web chat at any time. Join us on campus at Open Day in August to experience our facilities and talk to our experts. Thank you and see you later.
Well, hi everyone, and welcome to Deakin University's virtual Open Day. Welcome to the Financial Planning Live Q&A session. So my name is Mark Olenick, and I'm the Program Director of Financial Planning at Deakin University. I'd like to introduce a couple of other presenters that will be responding to questions throughout the session today. We've got Peter Gigi from the Financial Planning team.
Good afternoon, everyone.
And we've got Chris Posabon from the Work Integrated Learning team, who's will be able to help you with any internship or work integrated learning questions that you have. So we hope this is a very informative and interactive session. If you'd like to ask a question, please ask a question into the Q&A section in the question panel on this page, and we'll do our best to respond to the questions throughout the 30 minutes that we have today. If you have any unanswered questions at the end of the session, we've got a team of experts sitting behind the scenes that will be happy to answer any question that you have, and will be available on the web chat all day to assist with any questions. So if you have any other questions at the end of today, at the end of this 30 minutes, there is a team of experts available who will be able to help you with any questions that you have. So please click on the web chat in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen after the session to be connected to our team of experts. All right, so as I said before, please feel free to send through any questions. So we've got, I think, most avenues covered. So whether it's to do with the course, opportunities, what financial planning is and opportunities, or whether it's to do with work integrated learning and internships, which is a great area that Deakin provides. Very popular in financial planning. A lot of our students take advantage of it, and it does provide great benefits in terms of trying to secure a work position, employment position at the end of your course. All right, so let's get into it, and I'll start with some of the questions. So we've got quite a few questions up already. So just a question we've got from Sokitha. What are the employment prospects for starting a bachelor's degree of financial planning? So perhaps I might start with that one. So the career prospects, financial planning is in a growth area at the present stage. There are a lot of job opportunities. I'm constantly getting employers ringing me up asking for graduates. So a lot of our students, even before they finish their course, have got part-time jobs that once they graduate, then continue on to full-time employment afterwards. So there's a few reasons for that, primarily because there's new education requirements that exist for the financial planning profession, and a number of, I suppose, older existing advisors aren't wanting to do the extra qualifications and extra study, and therefore departing from the industry, and that's providing opportunities. But secondly, I think, especially during COVID, there's been a lot of, people have got a lot of uncertainty about, you know, what's going to happen to my money, where should I invest in? And there's been a real increase in demand for financial planning. So I think on that basis, there's been, as I said, a lot of employees coming to Deakin because we're one of the prime universities in the financial planning space, looking for graduates. So yeah, it is a very good career, a lot of good career prospects that are only going to grow over the next few years, I think. All right, so let's move on to the next question. Perhaps I might ask, Peter, a question for you that's come through. What are the requirements to become a financial planner or advisor in Australia?
Good question, Mark. In Australia, to be a financial advisor, you require 3 things. The first one is about education, the formal education, where you will be expected to complete an approved first-year degree. At Deakin, we have Bachelor of Commerce, Financial Planning major. We also have Graduate Diploma of Financial Planning and Master of Financial Planning. These are approved courses where once you go through them, you will be eligible to be a financial planner. That's the first one. The second one is you'll be required to complete a first-year exam. So all financial planners, advisors will be required to complete one examination, which is currently being administered by the government via the Treasury ISEC arrangement. And then the last aspect or requirement of being a financial planner in Australia is to complete a professional year. This is done over 4 quarters, consisting of supervised work experience plus training. Thank you, Mark.
Good, thanks very much, Peter. All right, so we've got a few other questions. So question from Sylvia, what sort of companies does Deakin have partnerships with for financial planning opportunities? So that's a really good question, because it is a very important thing when you're looking at your course of study to make sure that the institution has strong connections with industry. So Deakin Financial Planning, as I said, have been around for quite a number of years. We're one of the longest providers of financial planning education in Australia, and have got one of the best credentials. So we've got very strong connections with all of the financial planning associations. So that includes the Financial Planning Association, the Association of Financial Advisors, and the Self-Managed Superannuation Association as well. So they're probably the key financial planning associations that we've got connections with, and we run in connection with them career opportunities, career events. They run various courses and webinars on things like the professional year and what you need to do to become a financial planner. But we've also got associations with a number of key other organisations in the financial advising or financial services sector. So organisations like TEL Insurance. So TEL Insurance is one of the, I think, the largest provider of insurance in Australia. We've got organisations like AMP, IWF, Financial Standard, and a range of other organisations. We're speaking to Macquarie next week to talk about employment opportunities, because, as I said, the whole industry is short of planners, and so they're looking to come to Deakin to say, well, what can we do to set up a graduate program? But these connections are good because they help us provide practical work experience. They provide opportunities for internships, for prizes, for scholarships, and for practical case studies. So yeah, the connections with industry are critical, especially when you're looking for things like, as I said, internships and then graduate roles at the end of your course. All right, perhaps there's a couple of other questions. There's a question which I might answer, which is it possible to get a job in sports industry after studying financial planning? Well, I think the financial planning course provides opportunities, I think, to get into a whole range of different job opportunities, probably in the financial services sector. So whether that's financial planning or superannuation or insurance, managed funds, there's a whole lot of financial services sector industries that I think financial planning does provide a very good. Sports is a little bit different. It's got its own requirements. There's no opportunity. There's within the Bachelor of Commerce, there's some opportunities perhaps study some electives in sports and sports management. But if you're looking for a career in sports management or sports science or exercise, things like that, fitness, then you'll probably be better to go and look for a degree in sports science, or, as I said, Deakin's got one of the best sports management courses, I think, in Australia. But there is certainly opportunities to study sports as one of your majors. And so perhaps if I've got time later on, I'll talk about the various majors that you might be able to undertake within your course. Chris, I've got one for you. So internships is one of the critical areas, and Deakin holds itself out as providing a great range of opportunities for students. So what are some of the internship opportunities that are offered by the faculty for students?
Yeah, no worries. Thanks for having me today. So we do have three main sources for our internships at Deakin. So we do have the entry-level consultation experience, where you act as a consultant at a business, and that'd be like a business such as Deloitte or KPMG or one of those big firms that we have all over Australia. And that's a very, very key kind of role to do, because you sort of find that advantage that you have over other students by having this experience. Then we do have the international consultant experience. So that's dealing with a business problem at an overseas company, whether that be even virtual or online, that you can do that with them, or else you can do that travel opportunity that we do have that will be coming up over the next couple of years, since the pandemic sort of starting to allow us to have that opportunity again. Then we do have, as a third, we have that more advanced option from the external company, where you'll sit within a company once or twice a week, and sort of work through their business problems, and then you'll have more of an advanced sort of look into how their company works. And as I said, this is all sort of really great for your CV. It's great for your job endeavours once you finish your financial planning degree. It'll really be a great advantage for you once you do finish as to getting a job in that industry, and also just getting like your own self-development's really a real key for that as well during your time with us at Deakin.
Good, thanks very much, Chris. So Peter, another question for you. So the course structure. So students within the Bachelor of Commerce have the opportunity to do a financial planning major, but I suppose there's always questions about, what can I do with my remaining units at Deakin? So the Bachelor has got 8 core units. The financial planning major consists of 8 units. So what can students do with the remaining 8 units that they've got within their course, Peter? What are some of the opportunities?
Thank you, Mark. For financial planning major, as Mark has indicated, during your first year with us, you're going to do 8 units. The first 4 are done first trimester, and the second 4 are done the second trimester. Those ones are common units done by all our commerce students. Now, if you want to specialize or major in financial planning, you will be expected to take 8 units that are taken from the financial planning pool during your second year and third year. During second year, we would expect you to take 4 units. This is financial planning, principles of income tax law, and then the other trimester, you would take client behavior and decision making and ethics for financial professionals. Now, for your third year, we would expect you to take superannuation planning, equities and investment analysis, and then last trimester, we'd expect you to take estate planning, insurance, and advanced financial planning. So as you will notice, we have the 8 unit first year, then 4 second year, and then another 4 third year. That makes a total of 16 units. So the core and 8 specialization. To finish your out to be able to complete your Bachelor of Commerce financial major, you would also be expected to do 8 more units, because in total, a degree course takes 24 units. So we do have other 8 units, which we refer to as electives. So this can be taken from the pool of financial planning units and or from other courses that are offered via our Faculty of Business and Law and or from other faculties within the university. This way, you'll have completed 8 core, 8 specialization, and 8 electives for you to be able to complete a degree with us that is majoring on financial planning discipline. Thank you.
Thanks, Peter. So just to sort of follow up on that too, students with their remaining 8 units can do a second major if they like. So quite often, one of the some of the more popular majors that students look to do are typically accounting and finance. So you can end up with a Bachelor of Commerce with a major in financial planning and accounting or finance. I've got a student in my class who's doing a marketing major. So that's another combination as well. Part of, you can do minors. So a minor is 4 units. You could do 2 minors instead of a second major, or as Peter said, a whole range of different types of electives that you can just pick and choose from across our various courses. And some of them can be what Chris spoke about before, which is in the work integrated learning or internship space. So That's part of, you know, Deacon's offering. We do provide students with a lot of flexibility to choose what you really want to go into. And, you know, the benefits of a second major are that, you know, it does give you opportunities to probably satisfy the career or the professional requirements to move into 2 different careers. So it could be financial planning, and it could be accounting, or it could be finance or marketing. And then at the end of your course, then you can perhaps, you know, determine which one did I actually like better, you know, where are the better career opportunities. And if down the track one of them didn't turn out, you've always got the qualifications to be able to move into another area if you like. So as I said, there is a lot of flexibility. So it is, I think, a very important part when you're looking to select your course offering, and, you know, especially at Deakin. All right, so in terms of some other questions that we've got a question from Sylvia, who's asked, what is the difference between a financial advisor, a financial planner, and a financial manager? So perhaps I might speak to that. So I think a financial planner and a financial advisor are very similar. So we have different parts of the industry that refer to different terminology. I think in America, they tend to use more advisor.
I think we just lost
So,
Mark.
if I continue from where, oh, Mark, are you back? Okay, all right.
Yep.
Okay,
I'm back.
Keep on going.
Yeah, good. Sorry, I must have gone offline with my internet. However, a financial manager is a little bit different. So a financial manager is someone who perhaps talks more around areas to do with funds management. It's more of a generic term where you're looking at a whole range of different aspects of finance. So you might be working in finance with a company like BHP or Coles. You might be working in funds management, looking at finances in general. So a financial manager typically wouldn't do the financial planning or financial advising roles. They typically wouldn't need to complete the financial advisor standard requirements. So they're more, as I said, working with finance in companies, the corporate environment, funds management, but not typically advising on a day-to-day basis. All right, so I hope that answers that question. All right, so let's have a look at a few other questions. What is the current job market like in financial planning? Which I think I might have already spoken about previously. So as I said, the career market, the job market is actually, I think, booming at the present stage. There are a lot of opportunities. As I said, a lot of our students already have jobs by the time they finish their course. But I mean, I think it's important to, financial planning is, we all think about, you know, sitting down with clients at the end of our course to be a financial planner. But our course also provides you with opportunities to move into a whole range of other areas other than just advising clients. So, you know, for example, moving into insurance, which is a huge growth area, moving into superannuation. Australia's superannuation environment has got, you know, more than $3.3 trillion in it. And there are huge opportunities to work in the superannuation space. And it's not just talking to clients, but, you know, you might do things like a business development manager. You might do training of the staff in the organisation. You might do compliance. You might be going around speaking to employers of the super fund or clients. You might be developing products. You might be doing some investment analysis within their funds management section. So there are a whole lot of opportunities for job opportunities that other than just financial planning. So the financial services sector is very broad, and there are a lot of different types of jobs. So I think, you know, even if you're thinking, oh, perhaps financial planning, do I want to sit down with a client? and help them achieve their goals. It is a very satisfying career, but there are a lot of other job types as well in the financial services sector that this course would prepare you for. All right, Peter, I might ask you a question that's come up. Are there opportunities to, am I able to go into part-time study? So that's a question that quite often comes up, where students are enrolled in full-time study, but then they look to move into potentially, what happens if I get a job? Can I move to part-time? Can I then come back to full-time study again? And perhaps also, Peter, how many units do students typically have to do in a full-time load? And perhaps, you know, can I do 2 units or 1 unit?
Thank you for your question. Let's put it this way, that the expected full-time load for a student one trimester is 4 units. So if you are a full-time student, we would expect you to take 4 units every trimester, meaning that along the way, you'll be expected to finish your degree within 3 years. Now, when it comes to financial planning, we notice that many students will have full-time or part-time jobs in their financial planning, in financial planning areas prior to graduation. What does that mean? That would mean that the student will have to decide whether to move from full-time to part-time. Now, at Deakin, we are very flexible. So we provide students with opportunities to complete their degrees part-time by completing 1 or 2 units a trimester based on their availability. There is no problem in terms of coming back to be full-time. Let's say, for example, you feel like you want to finish your degree within a shorter time than, say, part-time. You are always welcome to continue as a full-time student. So that flexibility is available, and it all depends on your availability. Thank you, Mark.
Okay, thanks very much, Peter. Over to the next question, which is around the professional year. So Peter spoke about earlier around the various requirements to become a financial planner in Australia, which is to do an approved course, which Deakin's financial planning major is, to do an exam, a FASEA exam, which everyone has to do before they can actually practice, and then thirdly, to do the professional year. So in terms of the professional year, you don't normally have to start straight away. So, and it's probably typically better once you've got a bit of experience under your belt. So I think a lot of graduates get their job, have probably 12 months experience. And then what they do is they start their professional year, which is made up, as Peter said, of 4 quarters. So typically graduates would do 2 quarters consisting of some study, it could be professional development, it could be some training courses, which might be knowledge, but also around your skills. So, you know, how do I better relate to clients? How do I engage with clients? How do I prepare reports that are user-friendly for the client? And so there's also mentoring. So, you know, you might be invited into some meetings with clients to gain your experience that way. So typically you would do 2 quarters of that. You would then in your 3rd quarter, before you can move into your 3rd quarter, do the FASEA exam, which is probably based on issues that you've covered throughout your course. So it shouldn't be that difficult for you, but you will need to do an exam. And then you have to go off and do your exam, and then come back, and then you can finish off the rest of your quarters. So as I said, it's 4 quarters, but typically you would not start your professional year until at least 1 year of having experience in a financial planning practice, and it could even be 2 years. So it depends on the graduate, how fast they move through and how much the employer wants to push you through as well. Okay, Chris, I'll perhaps pass another one on to you. With a common question that's being asked is, you know, how do I get an internship opportunity? Do I have to search it for myself, or does Deakin have a range of opportunities that I can just apply for?
Yeah, sure. So yeah, we do have many different opportunities in that capacity. So you might work for a company and you might think, oh, I'm going to try and do an internship with them, so I'm going to source it myself. So that's an opportunity that students can take during their time. The other way is if you think that you don't have anywhere you can go for that opportunity, then we do have our faculty sourced options as well. So there's many different opportunities we get per trimester that the faculty led have actually like designed to help put you into the right stepping stone going future in your career. So yeah, we do have great opportunities both ways where you can get self-sourced or faculty led, and it's obviously, as I was saying before, it's a really competitive edge that you get by completing an internship within a big company, big financial company for your career.
Good. Thanks very much, Chris. And, you know, there are a lot of different opportunities in the internship space. You have got larger organisations that are more well-known, like AMP, Macquarie, IWF, but then you've also got very small practices as well. So, you know, you need to work out which is best for you. Is it better to work in a smaller practice where perhaps I'm dealing with a whole range of issues, or is it better to work in a larger practice where perhaps, you know, you can specialise perhaps in certain areas, which might be like, for example, in insurance or superannuation.
Yeah, there's a lot of flexibility.
Yep.
So it just depends on the person. We'll find the right internship that will suit you. And yeah, it's a great option.
Good. All right, thanks, Chris. I think I just noticed the time. We're coming to the end of our live Q&A session, so we've got time for just probably 2 or 3 more questions. So again, if you have got a question, please send them through. There's a question which has come up, which is a good one. What is the best piece of advice that you have for someone looking to start their career in financial planning? So I think the best piece of advice is try to get as much practical experience as you can. So I think you know, it's going to help your studies because, you know, as well as knowing the theory, you're able to see, if you have got some experience, how the practice relates to the theory, and it will help you later on getting a job. So I would say try to get an internship because that's going to give you the practical experience. It'll give you insights, and again, quite often with internships, a lot of employers, if it works out for both you and the employer, will ask you to stay on. But also, I think try to get some part-time experience. So I think that's another key factor as well. Also, again, getting that practical experience to help you with the theory that you'll learn in the classroom, but also getting a job at the end. So I think, you know, the best piece of advice I think is always get as much practical experience as you can. But also, I think, you know, in terms of your studies, you need to plan your studies, you know, properly. We've all got fairly busy lives with work and social activities and, you know, personal activities. So it's very important that you plan your studies. Think about how many units that you can feasibly do. Don't take on too much. If you are working part-time, 2, 3, 4 days a week, probably best not to take on a full-time load. But, you know, I think that's probably the key factors that you need to look at. All right, and perhaps one more question, which I think, just looking at perhaps what's come through, what we can answer. Perhaps there's one last question which I might try to get through, which is around career paths in financial planning. Which is a good question, the career paths in financial planning. So when you normally graduate, you probably these days don't apply for a financial planning position. So being a financial planner, you probably would do after about 5 to 6 years worth of experience. So typically when you're graduating and you're looking to move into the financial planning environment after your degree, you would look for a job as a client administrator. And a client administrator is someone who, I suppose, it provides an opportunity to learn your craft. So you're, I suppose, answering calls, you're downloading research, you're filling in insurance and superannuation forms, so helping clients withdraw money or contribute money, looking up the research for the companies, for the investments that your client is invested into. So that's where you learn your craft in terms of what financial planning is. And that might take you 2 years. And it does take quite a lot of experience and knowledge to become a financial planner, because not only do you need to have that detailed knowledge, but you need to be able to relate to a client and engage with a client. So probably about 2 years as a client administrator, and then you've got the option of moving into becoming a paraplanner. And a paraplanner is the one that sits down and puts together the financial plans for the client. So the financial planner would be speaking to the client, working out their goals, working out what strategies should be put in place. They would then come back and give it to the paraplanner, and the paraplanner is the one that would put together the financial plan for the client. So the paraplanners are typically not client focused, but they enjoy more working with numbers and developing strategies. And some people stop at being a paraplanner, and that's their career. And that's great. They enjoy that. They enjoy the technical knowledge. They enjoy putting together financial plans. But then if you want to become a financial planner and work on a day-to-day basis with clients, probably after about 4 to 5 years, depending on your experience and your confidence, then you can move on to becoming a financial planner and having your own clients. And that's probably the most rewarding part, where you can sit down with clients on a day-to-day basis, work with them, help them achieve their financial goals, build the trust with them, and it's a very fulfilling career. So that's generally the career paths that we take in the financial planning profession: client administration, paraplanning, and then finally becoming a financial planner. All right, I think we've just about run out of time, so I think I might wrap it up on that basis. So thanks everyone for joining this session. It's been great to see you all and to get all those great questions, which we've covered a whole range of different areas. If there's any other questions, then I think, please feel free to send it through the web chat. And we've also got our website. So Deakin's website's, really good. There's a lot of useful information, not just about the BCom, but also about the financial planning major that you've got. So thanks very much for your time. And we hope to see you at Deakin University next year.